Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Choda, and in this video I give you the latest status of the economic recovery, the fact that unemployment claims have actually gone up in the most recent week compared to the week prior, and also why Congress holds the key to the economic recovery. Congress must act. There must be some action between the House and the Senate, because without that the economy is going to continue to stumble. I'll give you the two latest updates, and this is information that just came out today. 1.1 million individuals have filed new claims for state unemployment benefits last week. This number of individuals filing for unemployment insurance unexpectedly rose last week, which is essentially an indication that the economic recovery is struggling. It is faltering. I also did another video where I compared how different states are recovering, how different industries are recovering. So you definitely want to check that out. The economy remains challenged for many American workers with the unemployment rate at 10.2%. And there are many sectors like travel, leisure, hospitality, entertainment, all of which have been significantly impacted by this pandemic. Again, last week, 1.1 million individuals filed new claims. And according to Scott Anderson, who's a chief economist at Bank of the West, he said it definitely suggests that the momentum in the economy is slowing. And he said, we are still at historically high level of claims. The labor market is in the ICU. These are the words of Scott Anderson, chief economist at Bank of the West. Now, there are two sides to this equation. Now, despite these weak numbers, Gus Forcher, who's the chief economist at the PNC Financial Services Group, he said that there are pockets of strength in the economy. He is correct because there are certain industries that are recovering much faster than the others. He is correct because there are certain industries that are recovering much faster than others. But the truth is, some industries and some states have been impacted much worse than others. And here's what Gus said. He said, we see continued improvement with housing starts increasing, consumer spending increasing, and industrial production increasing. But the pace of improvement is slowing. And Gus also noted that the data for initial jobless claims in Thursday's report was affected by a large seasonal adjustment linked to the beginning of the school year. Without that, he said new claims would have been lower, and without that, new claims could have totaled 891,000, significantly lower than the 1.1 million claims that were reported. Now, let's be clear. The solution to all this is Congress. Congress holds the key. The president has done or has taken some actions with executive orders, but they don't achieve as much as Congress taking action. So as millions of Americans essentially are in unemployment right now, as the stock market is hitting record highs, what we need to understand is the basic economy has both a positive side to it and a negative side to it. The fact is, hotels and airports are nearly empty and many restaurants remain closed. But on the other hand, home sales and home building are actually booming, and retail sales are actually back to levels that preceded before the pandemic. So this is really an unusual dichotomy that very few of us could have predicted. Now, according to Michael Gappin, who's a US economist, who's the chief US economist at Barclays, he said federal support is crucial to underpinning the virtuous cycle we've had. He said the longer negotiations stall, the more likely there will be a hiccup in spending. As long as we get a package in September, the outlook is okay, he said. But Republicans and Democrats still at this moment in time remain very far apart. And the power of the government's efforts is very obvious, according to Gappin. He said personal income in June totaled $19.9 trillion at an annual rate, up from $19.1 trillion at the start of the year in February before the pandemic, with unemployment at 10%. What this means is that the government impact, the stimulus money has played a significant role in propping up the economy. In fact, what Gappin said is, with unemployment at 10%, that's only happening with federal transfer payments. In other words, we need another stimulus so that the economy can continue to gradually recover, and the ones who are suffering the most, the ones who need help the most, should get it. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Dr. Nitin Choda with Ignition Time. If you did learn something new in this video, please consider clicking the like button. Please consider clicking the subscribe button. The thing that personally bothers me about the current state of the economic recovery is that some companies and some industries are making more money than ever before. In fact, not only have they returned to pre-pandemic levels, they're actually doing better than prior to the pandemic. I mean, just look at Apple. For example, Apple is now the first company to achieve $2 trillion in market value, and they actually went from 1 trillion to 2 trillion. A majority of that increase happened in the past 21 weeks. Other companies like Nike, like Home Depot, like Best Buy, have had and even Target have had some of their best earning periods ever. Whereas on the other hand, we have millions of individuals, millions of Americans, specifically the ones who don't have a high school education and above. They are the ones who are significantly impacted. And this is fundamentally the problem with our economic recovery. There is a lot of excess in our country and in our society. And hopefully the people who need help the most can get it going forward. We'll see what Congress does. The House is scheduled to meet this weekend. We don't know yet if they're going to be talking about the stimulus package. And there has been some chatter amongst the Republicans and the Democrats. But I think now that the jobless claims went beyond 1 million, in other words, they were lower than 1 million the week prior, and then last week they went above 1 million. I think there's going to be pressure on the House. I think there'll be pressure on the House, there'll be pressure on the Senate, and there'll be pressure on Congress to enact some sort of legislation. And it's quite likely that the president will sign it very quickly. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Dr. Nitin Choda with Ignition Time. If you did learn something new from this video, please consider clicking the like button. Please subscribe. Please enable notifications so you get instant updates from us going forward. If you don't know anything about me, check out my video on our channel where I tell you about how I was able to achieve my American dream. I have the privilege, the honor of living the American dream, and I want to help you achieve the same. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, we release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. So make sure you're subscribed to our channel. Make sure you subscribe and enable notifications. Also, you can get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000. That's 70000. And you'll get added to our SMS list and you can opt out at any point in time. You can also get added to our email list and you can opt out of our email list at any point in time as well. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, my name is Dr. Nitin Choda with Ignition Time. I'll see you in the next video at Ignition Time. Thanks. Take care. Bye. The calm and the storm in the ocean feels like my life, bursting with emotion, filled with speed and with slow motion. This is my truth. It ain't no notion. Live my life with truth and devotion. Stayed away from the drama and commotion. Gave it all I had, waiting for that promotion. Everything non-stop, always in locomotion. Something special about the calm of the sea, like the beauty of the leaves on a summer tree. Nature is my teacher, I'm a student, I agree. Its wonders will amaze, you will never foresee. Round and round I spin like a little top. The world keeps going on, it just won't stop. My ego and arrogance I simply must drop. Traded in for a buck at the local pawn shop. The calm and the storm in the ocean feels like my life, bursting with emotion, filled with speed and with slow motion. This is my truth, it ain't no notion. Live my life with truth and devotion. Stayed away from the drama and commotion. Gave it all I had, waiting for the